Hey guys, James Reeves with TFBTV. As most of you know, I just got back from SHOT Show, and I love SHOT Show every year. It's like gun Christmas to me. I saw a lot of really neat things at SHOT this year. I actually read a lot of complaints in our comments on our SHOT Show coverage of people saying there's not really that much exciting stuff at SHOT Show, and I think that there aren't as many standouts as there were, say, last year. Also, we're seeing a trend that's happening a little bit more often where manufacturers have kind of figured out that you need to release guns, or at least publicity for guns, maybe a couple of weeks before SHOT, because when you do it when you're at SHOT, it really kind of gets lost in the noise of SHOT Show. So we're seeing a lot of manufacturers doing that. I could think of a ton right off the bat. For example, Glock with the 43X and the 48, Mossberg with the MC1. So yeah, guys, there were no Franklin Armory reformations this year, or like a gun that attracted a ton of attention. However, there were some really neat items, and in fact, there were so many cool things that we're going to do maybe 3, 4, or even 5 top 5 lists for this SHOT Show. I was going to do a top 5 guns, and I said, I can't. It's too hard. There's too much really neat stuff this year. So what we're going to do today is the top 5 handguns of SHOT Show 2019. Gang, the Kel-Tec CP-33, the competition pistol 33, has got to be on the list. Why? Because it holds 33 rounds of 22 in a quad stack magazine that flush fits. That's pretty impressive. It's also got a threaded barrel in 1/2x28, a full-length Picatinny rail with a 5.5-inch barrel under it. It's got fiber optic adjustable sights. It's got an AR-15 style charging handle that's really cool. And even though it is exactly the gun from Total Recall, you don't need Douglas Quaid $2,084 to buy the Kel-Tec CP-33, because the MSRP is going to be $475. So I bet we're going to see it for under $400. In any event, that one was a big showstopper, no pun intended. And again, that was one that was released maybe a week or 2 weeks before SHOT, at least in terms of announcements. So it was at SHOT, it made a big impression, but again, we all saw it coming. Next, we've got the Zastava M57 Tokarev. And I know that you're gonna ask me, James, isn't that an old gun? Why is that on the SHOT Show 2019 list? And my response is, first of all, who do you think you are? Second, what gives you the right? And third, the reason why it's on this list is there was a big announcement at SHOT Show, and that is Zastava is going to start importing their own guns. So you don't have to wait for Zastava guns like the M70 AK, the OPAPs, the NPAPs. You don't have to wait for the M92s. You don't have to wait for the M70s to be imported by some half-ass company that's going to do a garbage job of customer service, warranty, support, so on. Zastava has finally taken it in their own hands, and they're going to import them into the United States themselves. So that's why there's a 60-year-old pistol on the top 5 guns of SHOT Show 2019 list, but the Tokarev is not bad when you look at it on paper by itself, right? It's a little dated, sure. First, 7.62 Tokarev. Let's talk about that. You get that? You guys catch that? 7.62 TOC is almost as powerful as 357 Magnum. In fact, some loads of 7.62 TOC are more powerful than some loads of 357 Magnum. So with the TOC, you've got 10 rounds of virtually 357 Magnum at your command. It's a battle-proven design that Zastava is still making, which is pretty cool, in their military-grade factory. And there's speculation, they wouldn't give me a price, but there's speculation that they're going to cost less than $300 when they start being imported. Moving on to the number 3, we got the Rex Delta. Now, first of all, I've got to explain to you guys that the Rex people are awesome. I love them, so there's a little bit of personal bias, but I don't need to ride on personal bias to get the Delta to number 3. Yes, it's a striker-fired polymer-framed handgun, but I think we talk about the first asset of this gun, and that's the trigger. It's got a 2-stage trigger with the shortest reset I've ever felt on a striker-fired handgun. You're talking 2 millimeters or less before this thing resets. It really blew me away. You've also got the whole suite of ergonomics, that is forward slide serrations, interchangeable back straps, you've got ambi controls, you've got great stippling on the grip. But it's also a 15+1 flush fit 9mm that is extremely thin, and it weighs only 19 ounces. I've toured the factory where these guns are made, and this is top tier. Again, this is a military grade factory where they've been making weapons for European militaries for a long time, and they just recently eased over to the civilian market. So that factory over there in Slovenia is total overkill. CNC machines everywhere, laser engraving, milling, you name it. The assembly, the hand assembly and hand finishing done by the employees there, like hand polishing the feed ramps, really incredible. Go back and check that video out. All of that, and it's going to MSRP at $449, so you know it's going to be competitive. Now moving to number 2, you guys know I had to do it to you, Glock 43X and the Glock 48. I did a video, we had an unveiling of these two guns on TFBTV, and they are instant favorites. You guys know I'm a concealed carry junkie, you guys know I'm a Glock junkie, so this just worked for me. Basically what they did is they took the Glock 43 upper, this is for the 43X. They took the 43 upper and then they put a larger lower on it. It's a super thin, single stack 10+1 round handgun. It's also got forward slide serrations and PVD, a stainless gray PVD, physical vapor deposition coating, just like the Glock 19X. Now the Glock 48, same principle. You're talking about a 10+1 single stack magazine in a very thin, less than 1 inch package, but you've got a 1/2 inch longer barrel, 1/2 inch longer slide, even though it uses the same recoil assembly. So it gives you a little bit extra velocity and it gives you a little bit extra sight radius. But the most important thing is these are Glocks, so you know that they're going to be reliable, you know that you can trust them. And there are a lot of people who really wanted to see a little bit more grip on the 43 without going the route of getting an extended magazine. So Glock is catering to those guys. I loved them. I'm buying both of them. I have both of them right now, and I think you guys should check them out too. Congratulations to Glock. You got the number 2 pistol or pistols of SHOT Show 2019. Normally I save my controversial pick for number 4, but it wouldn't be controversial if it were number 4. It's going to be controversial because it's number 1. And that is the Hi-Point C9. I'm calling it the Hi-Point C9 Tactical, but it's like the Gen 2 Hi-Point C9. A lot of you guys watched that video. It was our most popular video of SHOT Show. We had my boy Dave from Hi-Point come up to the room, and we got to open, before SHOT Show even started, we got to open and have a look at the next generation of Hi-Point pistols. Now, yes, a lot of you out there are going to say Hi-Point pistols are garbage, and that's kind of true. I mean, they're made out of like zinc and plastic, but guys, these are inexpensive guns that are still accurate and reliable. One of the main problems that people have with the original Hi-Point C9 though is that it's still an antiquated design. Remember, this is a gun that came out in like the early 90s, maybe late 80s, and they really haven't changed the design since. So it was overdue for a little bit of a refresh, we'll call it, and that's what Hi-Point has done with this Gen 2. You're adding forward slide serrations, you're adding a threaded barrel, you're adding red dot mounting capabilities, you're adding a Picatinny rail in the dust cover, you're adding an ambidextrous mag release, you're adding a reversible backstrap insert, you're adding, most importantly, a double stack magazine design. Right now the capacity goes up from 8 to 10 with a flush fit mag, which still isn't as much as a Glock 19, which holds 15, but it's an improvement, and Hi-Point says that they're going to continue to improve the design. Now, an important point that I want to bring up is that a lot of people say, why didn't they make it so it could take Glock mags? Actually, they tried. They did look at it, but they said the design was just way too fat when they tried to use Glock magazines, and it's thinner and better ergonomically with the 10+1 round magazines. So hopefully they'll find a way to add a little bit more capacity in the same overall package size, but we'll see. And you get all of these luxurious features for only $199 MSRP. which is what you come to expect from High Point. If it were $300, they'd be pricing themselves out of their own market. So may as well just make it $199. Hopefully it's going to be out sometime in 2019. You guys know I love my Glocks, but I had to put the High Point at #1 just because I thought it was really neat. You guys thought it was really neat because it was the most popular video from SHOT. All right, gang, those were my picks for the top 5 handguns of SHOT Show 2019. Give me your top 5 picks in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you guys saw from SHOT Show and SHOT coverage, but there are some other honorable mentions. There were some other good pistols that we saw there. Tell me what you think in the comments. Guys, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next year.